was the experience of A Suitable Boy? Because here you are working with one of the most talented directors, I think, in the world, and working with a cast of such wonderful actors from Tabu to Ishan to the lovely young Lata, Tanya Maniktala. How was that experience? I can't even begin to tell you how wonderful it is looking. I know apparently you've not watched it. Please watch it. But A Suitable Boy is really lovely. Tell me about that experience.
Um, there's some experiences which are um, completely joyous.
Yeah.
It was one of those for me, and I think Suitable Boy was the other. Um, working with Mira has always been on my bucket list, and I didn't think that it would actually happen, but it did. And not only did I totally enjoy working with her and watching her work, but I also really enjoyed spending time with her. She's just so lovely to talk to, and we talked about so many things in between shots and offset. We would talk about things ranging from politics to motherhood to scuba diving. I mean, she's that kind of person. She's so vibrant, and she's always, when you're with her, you have her complete attention.
Absolutely.
And that's just so lovely to watch. And it's so, you feel so respected and you feel so special. And so she's really, and she's really spunky, and she's also quite mischievous. It's great fun hanging out with her. So I had a lot of fun working with her, definitely. But like you said, the cast is lovely. And so many people from different parts of the world with different kinds of training and different work experiences. Like you said, there's Tanya, who's fairly new. She's from Delhi. There's Mahira Kakkar, who plays Mrs. Rupa Mehra. She lives in New York and has a very interesting body of work in the theater. There's this lovely actor called Shubham Saraf, who lives in London. Then there's Ishan and Tabu and Shahana, and it was just like a wonderful mix of actors, but just very nice energy. And we were all living in one hotel for 3.5 months, and I almost felt like I was back in hostel. It was like you'd finish a shooting day and you would come back, and everybody would make groups and go for dinner, and everybody knew what the other person was doing at every point. So it almost felt like living in a hostel.
So you were there even when they shot the scenes in Calcutta. They were also based in Lucknow, or were those scenes as well?
Some of it was shot in Kanpur.
Okay.
So I wasn't there
Yeah,
in
that
the.
must be the leather part, the leather tannery, I guess.
That's right. That's right. That was in
And
Kanpur.
what about the
And
Calcutta part, the Tolly? That looked very much like Tollygunj Club.
you mean the episode where we go for lunch?
No, that I think is the boarding house. I'm talking about the which you're not there for when they dance the tango and.
That was also in Lucknow.
Oh, really? Wow, wonderfully done. So, did you get to see the other actors in process as well?
Other actors from A Suitable Boy?
Yeah, did you get to see their scenes as well if you were not in them?
Not get. I didn't get to see their scenes, but I got to meet them here and
Right.
there. Somewhere we would cross paths. Like somebody was taking a flight in, somebody was taking a flight out. Some shooting days would overlap, or something like that. So I got to meet almost everybody in the cast.
And what struck me about it is how relevant it is even now. Everything that A Suitable Boy talks about, which is based in 1951, are things that are happening around us, whether it's the mosque and the temple, whether it's tensions between Hindus and Muslims, even the whole aspiration of a young woman to be independent, to study. So many things there that are so contemporary even now. Even the Bengali, the criticism of the Bengali relatives. I thought it's so contemporary.
Yeah, it is actually. And while shooting for it, we were shooting the making of the film, and that's when somebody asked me that, do you think the story is relevant now? And that's when it struck me, and I was like, it's more relevant now than ever.
Yeah,
At least in my lifetime, or the time that I went to college in Delhi, I don't remember society being so polarized. I don't remember not being able to have a conversation with somebody who wasn't on the same side as me politically. And I think in the last 3-4 years, I've really felt a loss of that, and I've really felt that um, that is scary, you know, because that's like a breakdown in conversation, and so there's nothing to learn from each other anymore because there is no dialogue, and also then there's a fear of engaging.
Yeah.
And that's only increasing because increasingly we are engaging in social media forums more and more, which doesn't lend itself very well to any kind of in-depth conversation.
Right.
Almost like you have to, in a few words, make your stance clear, and also make it clear really loudly. And once you sort of get support on that, even if you feel like you have to reconsider your own thoughts, you feel like you can't back out.
Exactly.
You said it so loudly and so many people agreed with you, you feel like you have to say it even louder, and keep on believing what you might have um, lost belief in, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You don't even get that time and space to change your beliefs and your ideas, which you can. I mean, as an individual, you will not be the same that you were even a day ago. You know, you
Yeah.
evolve all the time.
There seems to me like you can't say I don't know.
Yeah, you have to know, and you have
Like,
to have a point of view.
on something which is not your area of expertise,
Yeah.
and no realization that there is value to go listening to an expert, you
Hmm.
know? And we don't seem to be encouraging that, and we don't seem to be doing that, and I really feel nervous about that at several levels.
Yeah.
I feel nervous about engaging with people these days.
Right.
Reason.
Rasika, as an actor, especially a female actor, you know that the world can be quite vicious, especially social media, especially if you have a point of view that doesn't agree with the majority. How do you handle it?
You know, it's become more and more abusive in the last few months, actually. Early on, I used to really look at it from a point of curiosity rather than anything else. I mean, I know that we live in a misogynistic society, and here is proof of that, you
Yeah.
know. So social media comments for me was like, hey, here's proof of something that I've known for a while. Though yes, on a daily basis, especially the kind of sexual comments that I would get after Mirzapur was
Hmm.
something which was pleasant to wake up to every morning, you know.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really taking it personally. I was sort of looking at it as a social study at that point in time. But I think it's gone a little beyond that. Not for my own personal account or people who follow me, but as I've seen it for other people.
Yes.
And that's not something that is nice, and that is something that should be called out.
Yeah. But you know, the minute you do that, the minute you show even an ounce of empathy for someone else, you come into the firing line yourself. So it can be quite tough if you're a public person.
It is, and I think you, as a public person, you have to constantly re-examine and reassess how you interact with people,
Yeah.
and to understand that every time you put up something, it is equivalent to a real life situation of standing on a stage and speaking to 3,000 people at
Right.
one particular time. So the responsibility of that act, and the responsibility of posting or commenting is equivalent to that.
Yes.
So I think that realization and that responsibility has to be there. You can't be casual about things. So these things have to be thought through. And sometimes because of the immediacy and frequency with which you feel you're expected to interact, you tend to err on the side of saying something too soon.
Hmm.
But I think if you have that awareness, and I mean, you can manage it fairly well. But yeah, I mean, it keeps changing. Like, there's some days that I feel that I really want to say something and I will, and there's some days that I feel like, listen, I don't know what I feel about this yet.
Right.
I will take my time to listen to everybody, and I will respond. And even in that situation, there are people on social media who say, hey, you said this last time.
Yeah.
Where are you now?
Yeah, of course. And then,
I've just realized I'm not going to give into any such pressure.
Yeah.
I will take my time. I will listen to people. I will figure out what I feel is right. And I will speak only if I feel I have something to contribute.
Right.
I'm an actor. It's not, I don't always have to, I don't know everything about everything. And,
Yeah.
I need to find out. I need to make myself aware before I say anything about something which is important.
Right.
So I need to find that time to do that. And I will not fall for the pressure of somebody saying, ki, tell us what you think.
Yeah.